What if the last person you chose to walk beside was the reason you never made it home? Erica Holloway smiled as she stepped onto a quiet Michigan walking trail just after lunch, the summer breeze lifting loose strands of her hair while children laughed in a nearby playground. She wasn't running from anything. She was simply taking the same peaceful route she had taken dozens of times before. She sent one quick text to her sister. "I'll be home before dinner." She never missed dinner. Michigan, 2:14 p.m. A familiar voice called her name from behind. It was Gideon Mercer. He smiled, pointed toward a shaded path lined with tall maple trees, and asked if she'd mind keeping him company for a short walk. Nothing about the moment felt unusual. They had crossed paths before. People nearby barely looked up as they disappeared farther down the trail. Last person seen with Erica. At 2:31 p.m., Erica's phone stopped moving. No goodbye. No second text. No missed calls. Just silence. Back at home, Jeffrey, her father, had already set an extra plate on the dining table, exactly as he always did whenever Erica promised she'd be back before dinner. Across town, Caitlin glanced at her phone, expecting another cheerful update. Instead, the screen stayed empty. By sunset, one simple walk had become the beginning of a case that would leave an entire Michigan community asking the same question. Why was Gideon the only person who came back alone? What if the most terrifying part wasn't that Erica disappeared, but that everyone believed she was just running late? Caitlin refreshed her messages again. Nothing. The last text still read, "I'll be home before dinner." Jeffrey stepped onto the front porch every few minutes, scanning the street each time a car slowed near the house. It was never Erica. 4:47 p.m., no response. Calls went straight to voicemail. Madeline left a voice message, joking that Erica had better not be skipping dinner without telling anyone. She never heard her laugh again. As the hours passed, one detail began to trouble everyone. Erica had left her favorite denim jacket hanging by the front door. She never went anywhere without it. But one detail didn't add up. By the time the family reported her missing, investigators discovered something that changed the search immediately. Someone had seen Erica. She wasn't walking alone. How could two people enter the same trail, but only one was ever seen leaving? Search begins. Detective Francis Delaney collected footage from homes surrounding the trail. One camera caught Erica and Gideon walking side by side, talking casually. Minutes later, the same camera captured Gideon returning alone. He wasn't running. He wasn't calling for help. He simply walked away. Main suspect, Gideon Mercer. When questioned, Gideon calmly told investigators Erica had decided to continue walking by herself. It sounded believable, until Hector Ruiz examined Erica's phone. Its location never moved beyond the trail. But one detail didn't add up. If Erica had walked away, why had her phone stayed behind? Why would an innocent man remember every detail, except the one that mattered most? Gideon repeated the same story. He claimed Erica smiled, said goodbye, and continued down the trail alone. Then investigators reviewed GPS records. His phone had stopped in one isolated section of the trail for nearly 20 minutes. He had never mentioned that stop. When Detective Francis asked about it again, Gideon's answer changed. First, he said he was resting. Then he said he was making a phone call. Neither explanation matched the data. The search team returned to that exact location. Hidden beneath thick brush, Enrique noticed something small. A silver bracelet. Caitlin recognized it instantly. It had never left Erica's wrist. What if one forgotten object could destroy an entire story? Critical evidence found. The bracelet led investigators to a narrow stretch beyond the walking path. Nearby, search teams recovered Erica's phone. It wasn't damaged. It had been deliberately hidden beneath fallen leaves. Hector unlocked the final activity log. At 2:29 p.m., Erica had started typing one message. It contained only 3 words. Something feels wrong. It was never sent. Unsent. When detectives confronted Gideon with the phone's location and the GPS records, he stopped answering questions. For the first time, the silence belonged to him. How do you explain evidence that keeps telling the same story, even when you don't? Forensic testing linked soil on Gideon's shoes to the exact spot where Erica's phone and bracelet had been recovered. Then Adriana's security camera revealed one detail investigators had missed. Gideon entered the trail carrying nothing. He came back with dirt covering one sleeve. His timeline collapsed. His explanations changed again. Detective Francis placed the evidence across the table. GPS records, camera footage, the hidden phone, the bracelet. There was nowhere left to look except the truth. Case breakthrough. After hours of questioning, Gideon finally lowered his head and admitted Erica never walked away from him. How do you move forward when someone's final promise was, "I'll be home before dinner"? Case closed. Guided by Gideon's confession and the evidence gathered throughout the investigation, search teams recovered Erica's remains. Every piece of the case fit together: the GPS records, the security footage, the hidden phone, and the bracelet. Gideon Mercer was arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced for Erica's murder. Justice had finally spoken. But inside the Holloway home, one thing never changed. Jeffrey, her father, quietly set the dinner table one last time, leaving Erica's chair empty before gently putting the extra plate away. Caitlin kept Erica's final text saved on her phone. "I'll be home before dinner." She never deleted it. Some messages become memories. Others become reasons to keep seeking justice. If stories like Erica's matter to you, subscribe to the Veil of Secret. Every view helps keep real victims remembered and their voices heard.